Welcome in, everybody. Smiling Ryan here, checking out another simulator style game. This one called Ship Graveyard Simulator 2. And I guess before we get started, I'll let you know that I actually was given, the devs were nice enough to provide me with a key to check out this game. So just keep that in mind as I tell you my thoughts. Although I always strive to tell you my honest thoughts, regardless of how I obtain the game. Let's just jump into a older save here, and I'll show you a little bit. I'll show you around the town here. But the object of this game is to demolish ships, essentially. So this is where you do your business. I don't have a ship right now. If you're maybe familiar with a game called Hard Space Shipbreaker, it's a little bit like that, in that you are you get a ship, and then you go about just taking it apart bit by bit. So this is how we have a laptop here to find a new ship, and I'll just get one of these smaller ones here. Actually, let me do this one. I did this one before. Guess I want to buy this ship. All right, so you have about, I think it's 13 ships to choose from here. So they're almost like 13 levels. As far as I can tell, there's no narrative in this game. You kind of just arrive on the scene. You get a little bit of money in your pocket, a few tools, and you're on your way. So I guess first things first, if you're looking for a narrative experience, I don't believe you're going to find that here. I'm not sure if there's any intentions from the developer. Developer, by the way, is Games Incubator. I don't know if there's any intentions to add that in the future. So each ship has a few contracts as well, which are basically just to-do lists, which I love a good to-do list. But you can see here they're looking for a certain number of materials or items, metal lockers, wall tools. But it's really, if you're just going through the ship and picking up everything, you're gonna get it. It's not really that hard. You just gotta do it. So this is your base of operations. This little cabin, I guess I'd call it. It's not customizable, if that's what you were looking for, but that might be a nice thing. Although you don't spend a whole lot of time in here, truthfully. You just come in to pick out your ship, and then you get back out there. So I guess there's not much need to customize. So this is the truck you're given. You can just hop into it, and we're going to drive it over to the ship. And here we are. And you just want to park it out front here, because this is where you're going to be, woo, nice little fishtail. This is where you're going to be storing all of the materials that you scrap. So you scrap the materials, throw them into the truck, and then I'll show you later, there's like a little recycling sign over there. You can kind of see it in the middle of my screen. That's where you recycle the materials and exchange it for money. So that's kind of the loop, is scrapping, recycling, selling the materials you get, and then buying upgrades to make your life a little bit easier. So first things first is you need to pick up a lot of trash here. So we're going to be picking up some stuff. And then you can just toss that into the truck. He can throw really far. This guy can throw really far. And you better get used to that sound. That little whistle sound. I'm not even sure what it is. But every time you deposit a crate... Is that going to make it? Nope. I hit the roof above me. Okay, it did make it. But you're going to hear that sound every time. So that's usually the first thing I do, is go out and clear all these rooms. And then next, I'll run through the tools we have here. So we have a sledgehammer, and that's to knock out these little bolts here. Alright, so you're going to do that. There's a lot of bolts. There's a lot of bolts. Every corner has bolts here. And this is an upgraded hammer, mind you. When you first start, it's actually going to take you about maybe 3 hits to break a bolt. So there is a little bit of a ramp up time in terms of efficiency. And then once you have taken all the with bolts, you can break it off from the rest of the ship. Like so. Ooh, that's loud. Oh my goodness, that's loud. And then we pick up the pieces that we just broke. And we throw them into the truck. Now, underneath some of these floorboards are these cut points here, these black and yellow cut points. You see? So you need to get your saw out to break them. This was actually... Whoa. This was probably the most frustrating part early on, is the saw. Yeah, I think it is a little slow to start. I didn't think it was fast enough until probably I leveled it up to level 4 or 5. Can I tell what it is now? Oh, it's level 3 right now. That's actually not bad, but there's a lot of these cut points here. So each intersection, so like underneath each of these floorboards, there's an intersection, and each intersection has 2 of those cut points. It can be a lot when you're trying to clear out a whole floor. I think I would prefer that it was just maybe 1 cut point at the intersection. And then you also have a torch, and the torch is to, so you have all these components inside, and then the hull is actually like 2 large pieces. So this torch is to separate the hull pieces from one another. And this takes a little bit of time. You can kind of see you're carving out a piece in the middle here. Just kind of move slowly, and then when the piece is gone, move on. Boom. That's a nice satisfying pop. And then that's what you do. You go about the game and break everything up. There are some larger objects on here, so you see this big, like, I don't know, generator, I guess, an engine maybe. You actually need a crane to lift this up. There's a crane over here. So I need to just break these here. And there's 4 of those, but I can't use the crane until I've cleared out everything above it. So I'm going to go see if there's anything above here, like a big thing that I can call in the crane for, just to show you guys. And you do have a way to get around this little, like, hook, basically. And in case you don't have a ladder nearby, you can use this to kind of hook up to the upper levels and get around the ship a little more easily. But usually there's enough ladders and stairs around. But I guess as you're starting to demolish a building, you might have fewer of those. So here's something that's I need to use a crane for. So just use the radio to call on the crane, and the crane will start moving. Kind of a nice touch, actually, that the crane actually moves in real time. I wasn't expecting that initially, so that's kind of nice. So we'll let that do its thing. Over here, some of the ships do have hazards that you need to look out for, although they're not really that hazardous. There's no health to speak of. You can't die, per se. So if I try to hit this electrified, so here there's an electricity panel. You really need to turn off the electricity in order to move forward. And some of these bolts are electrified here. So if I hit them, I get electrified, but I can do this all day. And not get hurt. And same with this, I would need to cut this usually, but I can't. So as far as I can tell, I'm not getting hurt, I'm not losing resources. It's just kind of a barrier, I suppose. So we'll turn off the electricity, and now we can break stuff up. So that's one of the hazards. The other type of hazard I've seen are gas lines, fuel lines. And those, I did not do it. We can try it. I'm going to load into another ship here in a little bit. But apparently if you break those, they will actually explode and destroy part of the ship. So you will lose some resources that way. But again, you're not dying or anything like that. In fact, yeah, let's go ahead and load up a new one. I think I have to go back to the main menu. And we'll get a new ship here. So that ship I had done before, you know, I will say it takes quite a while to do some of these ships and really break them down. That ship, when I did it previously, it took me an hour to do. which like an hour straight. Like I didn't. There's no breaks in this game. You don't ever have to come back and sleep at night or anything like that. There's no stamina meter. You know, no reason that you need to come back here until the job is done. Let's get a new ship here, and I think I have some money for a bigger ship, $270. So we'll take this $250 ship, the Maroon Lagoon. Apply that. I don't think I did this one yet. All right. So this is actually a sequel, as the name might imply. There was a Ship Graveyard Simulator 1 that came out. I'm not sure exactly when, but I did play that too. I played it for a few hours. It didn't really grab me, so to speak. Hook me, if you will. It was okay. I think the big problem about that game and the biggest improvement between 1 and 2 is in the previous game, you had a model of a ship, you had a ship, but you were really just breaking up the components on top of the ship. So maybe there were these, you know, these cables or these crates and consoles and beds and stuff like that. You were just hitting them with a hammer until they broke. And then you would haul the stuff off. You didn't actually destroy the hull of the ship or the floors or anything like that. And that's what really kind of bummed me out the most, because that's really what I wanted out of that game. I wanted something more like, again, Hard Space Shipbreaker, where you can take the ship completely apart. So now we have that. We'll just use our crane. Well, let's see if we can find a fuel line here to destroy. I'm just kind of walking around the ship now. Saying, I mean, the grapple's okay. It would be better if I could like grab a ledge, but it's not always great. Oh, so is the crane getting it? Here comes the crane. Choop. Perfect. And that'll take it over to the recycling plant there. So I can pick up some of this stuff. You pick up a lot of stuff here. And here, I could even throw it from here. Hell yeah. This must have a fuel line on it somewhere. Can I cut this? No, that's Break down these doors. I don't see a fuel line. Here's an electricity panel. Bunch of fire extinguishers. Bunch of fuel. Here's a fuel line. Okay. So these big components, you know, you get a lot of materials from them, so you don't really want to destroy them. There's a couple ways to destroy them. Well, I guess there's really two. I think these fuel lines, when they explode, will destroy them. And if you knock out the floor below it that's supporting it, it'll get destroyed then when it falls. So let's see what happens. So that's where you would usually turn it off to avoid any issues. But let's destroy this. Can I? Thought I could. There we go. Uh-oh. Whoa. Okay, so a little anticlimactic, but we got an explosion and some stuff fell, and yeah, that big piece was destroyed. And that's probably one of the most satisfying things about this game. I'll insert a couple clips, but when you know, the object of the game is to take down the entire floor, the entire like all the entire structure, right? And there's multiple floors with a lot of these, and if you take out the supporting floor, everything above it will fall. And that's been, for me, one of the most satisfying things to set up is you know, taking out a lower floor and then watching kind of everything just fall apart and collapse, and kind of this cascading effect of everything just breaking. And that's been fun. And I'll put a couple clips in here where I've managed to do that. What else are we going to talk about here? So we have some stuff, and I'll just show you the mini game real quick. But like, this is what I'll do. I'll just go down the hallway, break up some bolts. Occasionally you miss, and then you got bolts up top too. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bolts, a lot of stuff to break, and maybe there's a few too many bolts as well, but like, that's kind of fun, right? One hit and all the walls and floorboards go down, and then you can just walk through and pick them up. You can probably hear me furiously pressing the E key in order to pick up everything. And then even with an upgraded saw blade, I think I read it wrong earlier. I said it was level 3. It's actually the yellow pips next to the blade on the right-hand side, the saw blade, that determines the level. And I believe I'm at 6 right now, level 6. So this is a level 6 saw blade. And that's pretty quick. Break it. And then everything just... Oh, there's the floorboards too, though. Push down what part? I broke it. What? I'm really just trying to collect some scrap so I can, what do you mean? Break it? Okay, here we go. So I can show you the sorting minigame. There's a little minigame you play. Okay. Can't get in from that side. Only this side. So once you have enough stuff, and I really don't have a lot, I mean, you can scrap the entire ship and put it in your truck. There's no limit, as far as I can tell, to how much the truck can hold. There is a limit to how much you can carry at once before you need to put it in the truck, and that's something that you upgrade. That's one of the upgrades that you get. So here it's just giving me a warning. Again, it has to do with those contracts that each ship has. So it's asking me, like, hey, some of the stuff that you have right now is needed for a contract. So do you want to scrap that and potentially miss out on the contract, or do you just want to sort, what the excess of what you need for the contract? So I'm just going to do sort all, because I'm not going to save my progress here. So there's a little sorting mini game, and I'm just using A and D to move the containers that they're going into. And you see that they're different colors, so I'm just trying to match them up with the color. And I can use the space bar to speed it up. It's a very slight mini game. It depending on how much material you have to sort, the longer it is. Here at the bottom here, there's this combo score that you get. So if you sort them all without making any misses, you get the perfect sort, and you get a bonus to how much you get a little bonus money on top. So there's a little bit of an incentive to sorting it all correctly. I don't think you lose any materials if you don't sort it correctly. I think it's just you're just getting a bonus if you do sort everything correctly. So once you have your materials now, they're all up in the top left hand corner. It's like, well, we'll see in a minute what they're all called. But I go here to sell them for money. मेरे स्टोर में आपका स्वागत है. Maybe that's a real language. I'm not sure. We've got metals, non-metals, liquids, and equipment. So all of this stuff is also needed to do the upgrades. So I've kind of been taking the approach of only selling kind of what I need, not selling all of it. But I'll just sell some of it here. And that's fine. It's 60 bucks in my pocket here, and then I can go the next stall to buy some blueprints for upgrades. And we'll talk to this guy. I don't know that I have enough for everything. I only have $84. This next one is $900, so I got a ways to go for that one. But I can get a torch blueprint. That's only 40. So I'll buy that. Okay. Now that we have our blueprint, we can take it over to the fabricator. I guess that's what I'm calling them, to actually make the upgrade. So you have to buy the upgrade blueprint, take the blueprint here to make it.
Shubh Prabhat, my friend.
And I have the torch, and I have what I need, so I have enough metal or equipment and liquids and cash to make it. Boom. And that'll tell you, it did tell me what like the benefit was of upgrading it. Usually it's like for the hammer, you upgrade the damage. For the saw blade, you upgrade the damage. Or for your carrying weight, you upgrade how much you can carry per trip in your arms. And that's kind of the loop of the game. I gotta be honest, I'm enjoying my time with it. I played it for about 8 hours so far. I think it is better than the first one in just about every way. So I would definitely recommend, if you had the first one on your wish list maybe, and you were thinking about getting that, I would just get this one. I think it really is a better overall package. And it's $19.99 on Steam. I believe that's the only place it's available right now. And it does go on sale occasionally. In fact, it's on sale right now for 20% off for $15.99. So you could pick it up at that price if you wanted to. And the devs have been, so it came out in August of this year, and the devs have already done, I think, like 3 updates. 3 or 4 updates, so they are still supporting it for sure, and there is like a roadmap, which I'd love to see in future plans. So there are plans to add different types of ships, not just tankers or cargo ships. There is they did mention wanting to add like a co-op mode, which I think would be great, honestly, in this game, because it can be a lot to kind of take these on all by yourself. And they want to do like bigger ships, I guess, after that co-op mode's out, so that you have like some really beefy ships to take on with your friends. Yeah, I think a co-op mode would be super beneficial for this game, because that one took an hour, and an hour. As much as I love a Zen sort of game, and I do consider these simulator games and this one too to be kind of a Zen game. An hour of doing the same thing is a lot. It can be a lot. So to have the opportunity to maybe hang out with some friends while you're doing it, I think would be great. So I hope they do continue to support that, and I hope they're able to get that in one day. Oh, and they want to bring it to consoles too, I think was the last one. You know, for me, I think I'd love to see maybe more like a time trial sort of thing, or like a leaderboard maybe, so who can do a ship the fastest. I think that might be fun. I mean, that's a big part of the game, is just going through the loop and getting money to upgrade so you can do things faster and more efficiently, and then going back. And I do hope they add some more ships, because 13's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good amount. I'm surprised it's not like a procedural thing where they're just generating new ships over and over again. I was kind of surprised when I learned that there were about a dozen ships all told. So, any last things here? I don't think so. Yeah, but overall, I'm enjoying this game. I'm going to keep playing it, and we'll see what we would check out next. If you guys have any ideas for games to play, let me know in the comments. And of course, I guess I should have said it at the top, but if you want to go and visit me on Twitch, I would love for you to do that as well. We stream all kinds of games there. Well, mostly strategy simulator games. And we'll see. But anyway, twitch.tv/smilin_Ryan is where you can find me. I stream there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys checking this out, and we'll see you next time.